Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be local plant shopping at Ruibals Plants of Texas in Dallas, Texas. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest way to get in touch with me, and definitely check this little commercial out. And you can see that was the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast show that I am part of with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. We have actually debuted episodes 1, 2, and 3. The first episode was on my channel. The second episode was on Janae Simone's channel. And the third episode was on Stephen's channel at I Live Plants. And the fourth and future episodes will actually be on the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, please make sure you are going to that channel, hitting the subscribe button, and also putting all the notification bell on, because that's where all of our plant podcast episodes will be premiering in the future. So next week, actually, we will have episode 4 premiere, and I hope that you guys will all join us. But as you can see right here, this is part 2 of the Ruibals Plants of Texas plant shopping video that I created or filmed right before the holidays. I hope everybody has had an amazing Christmas Eve and everybody is enjoying an amazing Christmas Day with all of their loved ones. I happen to be able to visit my mom and dad and my family and my grandmother, and it was just a fun time. You know, just being able to spend some time with the family over the holidays makes all of the busyness, the stresses of the holiday season worthwhile. I'm thankful to have a really close-knit family, and to just be able to have a really good conversation with my grandmother about her thoughts about this year and what she looks forward to next year. She will be turning 90 in 2 months, so I am super excited to celebrate that milestone for her, and I hope that I would be able to be of sound mind and health when I reach 90. I mean, not a lot of people are fortunate to get to that age, and she is truly blessed. But anyways, as you can see right here, plant foldies, I did want to go ahead and get this gorgeous plant shop, Ruibals, film. This is the indoor section with all of the decorative pots, plant accessories. You can see right here, we've got some Philodendrons orchids. Now, these Philodendrons orchids are not in bloom, which makes them discounted in price. A lot of plant nurseries, plant shops will reduce the plant pricing for orchids, Philodendrons orchids, when they're not in bloom, because a lot of people will just buy orchids because they need the bloom. Now, these are 50% off. And again, if you're looking to save money on plant shopping, plant pricing, that's one of those things where you have to always be mindful of when certain plants will go on clearance or on sale. You can see right here, these are some fairly large Philodendrons orchids, variegated forms. I did get a variegated Philodendrons orchid for also 50% off, but it was actually in bloom. I happened to get it during, I think, a Memorial Day special at a local plant shop called Callaway's Nursery, which is another chain of Dallas-Fort Worth nurseries. I am based out in North Dallas, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome, my name is Richie. I do 1-hour plant shopping videos daily. Welcome to the community, and if you're able to make it during a live premiere, definitely say hello in the chat. I recently discovered how to make goals on the live premiere chat, which is basically super stickers. And for those that don't know what super stickers are, or super thanks, it's basically a monetary tip that you can put in the chat section, or even if you're watching this video, it's that little $sign. And that's the exciting part about having a YouTube channel. That's one way to help support the channel. I know that those who have given me a super sticker or a super thanks, any monetary value truly helps me with my supplies in terms of just my gas that I use to travel around all of these plant nurseries, or better yet, to be able to buy gifts or even spend money on some plants that I have a wish list look for. So, you know, again, thank you for those that have actually put in a super sticker. Really appreciate that. So if you're watching the live premiere chats, definitely look for the goal in the live premiere chats. But anyways, going back to Ruibals Plants of Texas, you can see that they have a Pothos wall, or an Epipremnum aureum Pothos. This one is for $8.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. Really love the golden Pothos. Super easy plant to take care of. Then we have another neon pothos right here. This is a classic pothos, again, for $8.99. And, as far as pothos, like I've always encouraged those that watch the plant shopping videos, these are plants that I suggest anybody adding to their plant collection because they're very easy plants. You can grow them up a totem pole, a moss pole to get larger leaves, or you can make them a trailing hanging basket type plant. Either way is fine, but if you really want to see the leaves get large, if you let them climb up a pole, they will definitely get larger leaves. And then over here, we have another neon pothos right here. The thing about the neon pothos, just like any neon plant, the more bright light you give it, the more neon or yellowish the color will be. The less light you give it, the more green it's going to look like. And then this is a philodendron that is very fast growing. This one is for $8.99, and this is a philodendron red emerald. So I remember getting 2 cuttings from a red emerald. They were just 1 leaf, 1 node cuttings, and I was able to grow them out. They root so quickly, and that particular philodendron definitely needs to be on a pole. That's what it wants to do, is climb. And then we have another Epipremnum aureum emerald pothos. So the emerald pothos is really a more like subdued global green pothos. It has some green on green variegation, but it's very I guess just not as pronounced. So, some people will say that it's just a reverted enjoy pothos. And then over here is an Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos. Again, $8.99 at Ruibals. And you can see that they have a wall. It's almost like they've got shelves. So you could take several 4.5-inch planters of pothos plants and let them grow. You don't necessarily have to put them all in one pot. And you can see that these plants create a nice little statement. And then over here, Dracaena limelight. So Dracaena limelight is a Costa Farms exotic angel plant that you will find at big box stores, but you can see that $5.98 Costa Farms starter plant can become that large plant right over here. We've got some macrame stuff. We've got little vials with I suppose little leaves. I'm just gonna go right here. It looks like it is made in France, some type of fragrance, so that's really interesting. And again, with Ruibals Plants of Texas, this particular location has some really nice just curated selections of plants and displays. You can see that they also have pre-made terrariums. This one is for $92, for instance, and they've got different types of substrates, different types of rocks, and I love the fact that they even have a little setup where you can have a grow light. And you can see right here, this is another terrarium. This looks like it has like a philodendron heteroecium Brazil and some other stuff in it. And as far as terrariums, that's something that I was into creating a couple years back when I was really into plants. I have these cycles where I get a bunch of plants, I'm really into them, and then something like a plant pest infestation kind of discourages me, and then I give up, and then I just let go of all my plants. But as of this year, though, especially doing plant shopping videos on a daily basis and just really sharing plant care tips and just being able to see these plants, it's really kept me grounded. It's really just made me more accountable to making sure that I'm not neglecting my plants. I don't necessarily let life get in the way, and that's the thing I've talked about with a lot of our plant foldies here is when you're buying plants, you really have to look at your time that you have invested on the plant, your lighting conditions, and just indoor space in general, and just your daily routines. I mean, for me, I have been so busy this past holiday season. I think it started when it was like October, where I'm literally working an average of like 10 to 12 hours a day, sometimes even more. And it just became a little bit, I guess, stressful for me in the fact that I had my daily routine of being able to go to like a big box store, film for an hour, edit the video. Now these videos on average take about 3 to 4 hours in process to get this. So like that's really simulated with my daily routines on top of a working, very busy working schedule. But, overall, as the year ends, and, I'm not really talking about the plants, but just hear me out, plant foldies, as the year is about to end and as this holiday season comes to a close, I am thankful that I've been able to at least maintain that consistency, but even more so be able to grow this community of plant lovers. Plant foldies, you guys are amazing, and being able to show you these terrariums and just these curated selections of plants by Ruibals Plants of Texas is just exciting for me. And you can see here that they also sell aquatic plants, so they also have these different types of inspiration you can do. I do think that me converting a lot of my current plants into semi-hydro substrates have really helped me with my plant care. And then you can see here they do have calathea, so these are more of their terrarium type plants, starter plants and 2-inch planters. These are for $7.99. So you can see this is some type of calathea. And then we have this thenanthe, and I do have this version of a thenanthe in my plant collection, and surprisingly I don't water it nearly as much, and the leaves are not really crisping. So sometimes either plants just acclimate or just get lucky, but that is a pretty hardy type of thenanthe plant. All of these plants right here, like this Calathea makoyana, that's super cute, $7.99. Again, these are starter plants to create a terrarium. That's something I want to do next year because I do have a clear lamp that I can convert into a terrarium. I may just utilize plants that have already propagated in water. I think that's super easy. I have one terrarium which has a bunch of little global green pothos that haven't done a lot, but at the same time they're still alive. It is just its own little micro sphere where it just pretty much takes care of itself. But as I pan away here, what a beautiful plant shop. And that's again Plant Foldies. If you're ever going to visit Dallas, definitely check out Ruibals Plants of Texas. This specific one is in downtown, and you can see all of these gorgeous little displays that they have, ways to like display plants. You can see that they've got some sphagnum moss, and even just the black rocks to create a little staircase is really nice. And that's the thing about plant styling. So a lot of us may end up just collecting plants to collect plants, but when you start to style your plants, when you start to really give them some interesting planters, or hang them, or cluster them in a grouping that makes sense, that's when the actual mindfulness, the actual enjoyment of just growing plants in general. Like, I mean, even here, just a simple neon pothos right here, and that is in a gorgeous little planter. I love that. And it's not actually planted into the planter, so that planter is actually being utilized as like a catch pot. Most of the time people will just use the nursery planter and just put them in a catch pot like that. That's an easy way to go about plants, so you can switch up your plants in terms of just having that. I do prefer planters that even though they're catch pots, to have a drainage hole in case I do want to actually pot up a plant in the planter. And you can see right here, this is a philodendron gloriosum. It looks like it might either have some variegation or there might be something wrong with the plant. Another beautiful philodendron. It is a crawling philodendron. So that's another type of philodendron that I haven't really delved into. Most philodendrons want to climb up. Some philodendrons, like the gloriosum, want to crawl across like a soil substrate. And then over here, look at that hanging basket. And it's got a clear pot right here. It looks like this one, this Marble Queen Pothos, is in a substrate called stratum. I don't really know a lot about stratum. I've just gotten into lechuza pond, and unfortunately, Amazon still is out of stock of lechuza pond. So if anybody knows where I can source some really inexpensive or at least cost-effective lechuza pond, please let me know. That is one of my favorite substrates for my semi-hydroponic plantings. And then as I spin around here, there's just so many cool grow lights, little plant stands, and even decorations. Look at this, is another gorgeous philodendron gloriosum. Look at how beautiful that is. Really love that. Actually, I don't know if it's 100% philodendron gloriosum. Somebody might have to correct me in the comment section. Please leave the actual plant ID. I don't know if it is a philodendron gloriosum, but this one right here is a Calathea dotty. Beautiful plant. And then right over here is a philodendron Florida green, and the Florida green is just basically the green version of the Florida series. So we've got a philodendron Florida Beauty, which is a variegated form. They've got a philodendron Florida Ghost, which is more of like the minty form, and then we also have a philodendron Florida Bronze, which is more of a darker form. But this one is just a standard green variety, but needless to say, it is still a beautiful plant. Now, to get the more mature leaves, this is a philodendron again that needs bright and direct light, but more importantly, it needs to be able to climb up a moss pole, some type of pole, in order for it to really get those leaves to size up. And then again, we have a Dracaena Limelight. With Dracaenas, super easy to care for plants. I do believe Dracaenas in general are overlooked plants, and I hope that as you guys continue to watch my plant content, my plant shopping videos, you will be more open to the more easy care basic plants that you can find readily available at like local nurseries or big box stores. Like here, we've got Venus flytraps, and the thing about it is these carnivorous, Carnivorous plants are a little bit more challenging. These are for $9.99, but the thing about carnivorous plants is they need a little bit higher humidity level. So even having them in like a humidity dome, their water needs to be pretty much purified water. You do not want to water a carnivorous plant with like tap water from the sink. They prefer rainwater, and they also have specific food needs. So obviously they're carnivorous plants, so they actually need like bugs and things like that. But you can see that this is actually some plant food that you can feed your carnivorous plants. So quite interesting. I don't really know a lot about carnivorous plants. Now, as far as a place to buy carnivorous plants, one local nursery out in Austin, Texas is called Carnivorous. Definitely check that out. Definitely check their Instagram page. My brother actually went to college with Drew Martinez, who actually owns Carnivorous plants, and he has one of the biggest selection of carnivorous plants. So definitely check that out. And then I talked about the planters and plant styling. Like, look at this. Epipremnum neon pothos. Again, just love that neon colored. And I love the simplicity of that teal planter right there. I am all about that. You know, for me, I look at my plants, I kind of get discouraged sometimes about just some of the health of the plants, or maybe even the clutterness of my actual home. And I just need to bite the bullet one day, maybe spend a weekend where maybe I don't make plant content. Maybe I just spend time getting my plants together. Now, as far as my next time I'm off, I do want to buy at least 3 IKEA cabinets to go ahead and, you know, place my plants there. I just think that it would be more beneficial to get some type of organization to where, number one, I could start the new year off with a really big, full-blown houseplant tour. And then number two, this is just some news I wanted to share with the Plantfoldy community. I am thinking about getting a dog, and I know some people are like, well, you're already struggling keeping up with your plants. I am downsizing my plants. I think that was a deal that I had to make with myself, is if I am going to get a dog, I was thinking of, you know, downsizing my plants. Maybe I'm scaling back a little bit on my plant content, but you know, the breed of dog I was wanting to actually get would be a Shiba Inu. So for those that actually have a Shiba Inu dog, it's a Japanese variety of a dog. Please leave it in the comments if you have one, what your care tips are, what you think of the dog, because it is so cute. I've spent actually quite a bit of time on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day just kind of doing my research on Shiba Inus, and I think that's a dog that I want to eventually get sometime early this year. But as I go and spin around Ruibals Plants of Texas, the indoor shop right here, they've got some beautiful plants. Like this one right here is a philodendron panduriforme. I think that's how you pronounce it. I guess but this one is for $9.99, and honestly, I regret purchasing this philodendron because the mature leaves on this particular philodendron is stunning. And you know, for $9.99, that is not a bad plant at all. But then again, it is all about, you know, trying to maintain a certain level of manageable plants, a certain number. Like, leave in the comments, Plantfoldies, if you feel like you have way too many plants to take care of, that you've inundated yourself with plants, or do you feel comfortable with the amount of plants you have in your plant collection? I would really like to know. I mean, anybody who actually takes the time to type up a comment, I appreciate it, because I love that engagement. And also, Plantfoldies, if you have made it this far to the video and continue to watch this video, thank you so much for doing it. You already know the drill. If you haven't already, please make sure you are hitting that like button, that thumbs up for this video. I cannot tell you how much it helps this channel really grow, just because the more likes this video gets, the more engagement, and that actually pushes this plant content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I'm hoping to continue to grow this channel. We've been growing at a steady pace, but with your help, by just hitting the like button, by leaving several comments, and just really engaging and watching the entire video, that actually helps out a lot. And I hope you guys actually enjoy the plant content, because even me walking around Ruibals Plants of Texas, showing you all of these gorgeous plants, like this Calathea Beauty Star, $21.99 in a 6-inch planter, it's just a fun process for me. I think that's the part where I don't feel like YouTube or making plant content on YouTube YouTube, especially on a daily basis, even feels like work. You know, some of my friends and family say, you're putting too much effort and work into YouTube. But for me, it is more of a relaxing routine for me. It's a way for me to just really enjoy the plants, because if you ever catch me at a local nursery in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you'll see me just kind of panning around with my phone and filming my plants silently and really just taking in all of the beauty of plants, like the ZZ Chameleon. And what's interesting is that ZZ Chameleon right here is actually a Costa Farms trending tropical. I've noticed that Costa Farms has even delved into a lot of these local businesses, these small businesses, and actually sourced out these plants. Now, this one is for $34.99. I would say if you buy this as a big box store plant, it is going to save you a little bit more money. You know, typically at Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart, you could find a trending tropical for like $19.98. However, like I've said before, if you want to support local businesses, small businesses, I am all for it. And even though this channel is, you know, the majority of my content is mostly big box store, I can't help but actually, you know, feature and highlight these gorgeous plant shops that the Dallas-Fort Worth area has. I do want to delve into a lot more of the Fort Worth plant shops. There's a couple that I want to go film and blog about, so definitely stay tuned for that. In the springtime, there is a nursery, a Japanese maple nursery called Metro Maples that I want to visit. There's a lot of places I'm scheduled to try and check out and get some content. And if you are in the Orlando area, I am slated to fly over to Orlando, I think February 22nd, for PlantCon 2025 in Orlando. It's the first of all the plant cons this coming year. There's a Houston one and a Dallas one, but I have yet to be in Florida. I've never been in the state of Florida, so I'm super excited to actually go to Florida, which is basically the mecca of all of these plants that we currently are looking at. That's where a lot of the tropical plants are coming from, or at least the aeroids that we get sourced out to a lot of these like big box stores and definitely small businesses and plant shops. So definitely check that out. I'm really excited to be able to film hours and hours of PlantCon 2025 Orlando content. So definitely, if you like that type of content and you've already been watching this video, please double check if, number one, you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, but not only subscribe, also with the notification bell on all notifications. So definitely check that bell to see if it's all notifications. Now, if it's personalized, my videos may not always notify you whenever I upload like a short video or even have a random live premiere. So I hope you can have all the notification bell on anyways. But as you can see here, I've just been walking around and showing you all of the gorgeous plants. There's a lot of gold planters. It just really depends on your plant aesthetic. Like some people want more of like a rustic feel. Some people want wooden shelves or like wooden plant stands. Like I think that elevating your plants is also a great way to really, I guess, enhance the plant's beauty, as well as just having all of these gorgeous plants in general styled the way they need to be styled. Like, I mean, you can see right over here. So we just have some, and I will say a basic pothos plant. This is just a basic jade pothos, but it's being displayed in a way where it's very aesthetically pleasing. It's a way where you can actually enjoy not only the plant, but maybe the architecture around, or even just the planter and say like, look at that. We've got another jade pothos. We've got a neon pothos right here. So I'm just going to walk around and show you some of the plant styling they've done with the planters here. you could see plant foldies. They've just got some gorgeous arrangements. That was a lipstick plant, and then they have a succulent arrangement right here. Succulents for me, they're really not a plant that I gravitate to, and I think a lot of it has to do with me just not growing succulents. A lot of my plant expertise, if you want to call it that, or knowledge, is really based on me watching my grandmother grow plants. She is the source of my inspiration. She is the one that has taught me a lot about plants. And really, if anybody asks what the secret to growing healthy plants would be, I would say it's going to be time and effort. So basically really investing a lot of time, inspecting your plants, checking if the leaves are healthy, making sure you're watering them on a consistent basis, making sure that you are placing them in areas that they get ample amount of light and giving them the amount of nutrients to really thrive. And then also just cleaning the leaves, getting rid of dead leaves, cutting away brown, leaves, all of that, makes for a healthy looking plant collection. And, the natural inclination for anybody that has plants, and I would even say I really do have a plant addiction, and I am trying to find ways to kind of get out of it. And I think it's more of just downsizing the plants. I think, the episode that we're going to be talking about on that plant podcast that I'm part of with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants is how do you get out of plant burnout, where you feel like you don't want to take care of your plants, or you've bought too many plants and you just can't keep up with them. I would encourage everybody to watch that plant podcast, which is going to be premiering next Monday at 7:30 on our actual official Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. So we don't really have a lot of subscribers, or I think we only have like 200. There are 11,300 subscribers on this YouTube channel. So if you're watching this video, do a search for Cultivation Corner, find the YouTube channel, and please subscribe to it. It's going to, we're going to have a lot of plant podcast content, lots of, dialogue around plants and just all the themes around it. But as you can see here, plant foldies, when you look at Ruibals, they have a huge selection of different types of plants. Like you can find different types of aroids, you can find seasonal plants, you can find easy care plants, you can find plants that are rare and uncommon, and you can find even succulents and cactus, outdoor gardening plants. And I haven't even delved into the herbs and all of the other extra plants that you would never really look to at a plant nursery. But you can see that Ruibals Plants of Texas, it's really a one-stop shop, especially if you are a plant lover. I mean, you can see they've got several different pockets of different types of plants grouped. One thing is for sure, all of these plants grouped are so beautiful. I love the plant styling. I'm a little bit more open to different types of planters. Most of the time I like my planters to be very modern, very simplistic. But then as I look at some of the displays that they have at this plant shop, you can see that there's a little bit more added interest to it, and I really love the look of that. Like that Dieffenbachia, beautiful. They also have a bunch of planty type theme books. So if you haven't heard of Hilton Carter, this is the propagation handbook, and I would actually like to get a hold of it. I have two of his books, hard cover books. Now, Hilton Carter is another plant enthusiast that has released a lot of his plant products at a big box store called Target. He's got some very stylistic approaches. I really do like his plant content as well. And as far as like plant propagation, when you talk about it, that's one of my favorite aspects of growing plants, is to be able to take a cutting, propagate it, root it, and share that plant with somebody else, or grow my plant collection. So plant foldies, I know some people have different opinions about plant propagations. I will say that sometimes I've over propagated, where you don't always have to propagate the plant if you take cuttings. I would say if you don't want to throw the plant cuttings away, you can always offer to give it to somebody else. But sometimes over propagation of plants can be a little bit overwhelming as well, because you've added even more plants to your plant collection. So, as the new year comes around, I am excited to really curate my plant collection. I think that the IKEA cabinets, I'm hoping to get 3, are going to help me organize my plants, really get my space to open up again. Because right now, if I'm being completely transparent, all of my plants just look like a jumbled mess. I would say having more than 45 types of aglaonema, for instance, you can't really enjoy it when they're all just clustered together. So I'm gonna hopefully get that, taken care of sometime, the beginning part of January, in addition to welcoming a bundle of joy, and that would be a Shiba Inu dog. So we'll see what that looks like. I don't know if it's all gonna work out, but we're gonna figure all of that out as we go along. Just like life in general, you kind of just roll with the punches. And then as far as like, if you're going to go travel to Dallas and actually go to Ruibals Plants of Texas, I would recommend going on a weekday, because on the weekends, super busy. And so if you want to like actually have time to just enjoy the plants, I would say going on a weekday is definitely beneficial, because this is a very popular plant shop. There are several locations of Ruibals, but this is the main one right here. And you can see I picked up some of these plants here. So these are more of the more curated plants. So we've seen the green marantha, and we just have prayer plants in general. I love the look of them, and I really thought that I would be able to grow a prayer plant in my plant collection. Unfortunately, these plants are very similar to calatheas, and they're very finicky. And for me, just trying to be able to grow these plants have become a bit of a challenge. I'm trying not to add plants that really bring me a lot of stress or just require me to go take care of them. There's more care tips to it. It's not that I don't like the plants, it's the fact that the plants require more care than I'm willing to give. And that doesn't make me any less of a plant lover or or somebody that can grow plants. I think sometimes we have to be selfish with some of our intentions when it comes to our plant collection. I always encourage people to be really mindful about the plants that they are looking at adding to their collection. That's something I will always talk about in all of my plant shopping videos, and hopefully plant foldies, you guys agree on that. I mean, like right here, these are for $26.99. So it looks like this is a philodendron verrucosum, and so we can look at all of these more rare or uncommon philodendron that Ruibals offers. You can see right here, we've got a Syngonium milk confetti, but this one right here is a gorgeous looking philodendron verrucosum. Now with this philodendron verrucosum, you can even see that some of the leaves are already crisping up. Those velvety textured leaves tend to be more high maintenance. They need higher humidity levels, and that's something that I don't necessarily want to have to invest so much into my plant collection, because it just, I have wooden floors and I don't really want my floors warping. And so for me, that's really not the type of plant I need to add to my plant collection, those high humidity level plants, because I don't necessarily have like a whole greenhouse setup. And some people are fortunate. Like I would love to have like a greenhouse setup where it's temperature control, humidity control to really grow plants. Maybe if I make a lot more money, maybe when I retire and I have some money saved up to be able to take this hobby as a full-time hobby, that's something I would do. So I'm actually kind of envious for those that have full-blown greenhouses, because that's really the best way to grow plants indoors, if that makes any sense. Is because you're actually providing them, the plants, a specific place, versus just having a whole home be overgrown with a lot of plants. Like I will even say some of my plants are really neglected, and this holiday season has been super busy. But hopefully I can get this under control and actually take care of my plants and really get them organized. But anyways, plant foldies, you can see right here, variegated Alocasia batik. So they have all of these rare and uncommon plants. So if you're ever looking to purchase an uncommon plant foldies, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can go to Ruibals. They are able to source out a lot of these plants, which is really exciting, because sometimes you don't want to order a plant online. I know that I've been getting a lot of import plants from overseas, and it's exciting, especially if you buy from Green Spaces ID. They make the whole process very simple, and their plants arrive in really good condition. I will be having an unboxing video to show you how healthy these plants have that I've received. I actually did a bulk order where I ordered a bunch of plants for some of my plant foldy friends, so that way we could save on the shipping. So if you're ever interested in importing plants, that's another way to go about it, is to actually go in it with some friends and do a bulk order, because then you'll save money on the shipping, also the phytosanitary certificate. Most sellers will provide a free phytosanitary certificate, but if you have to pay for it, going into it as a group is going to make it more cost effective. Philodendron Paraiso Verde. It is another philodendron that's quite interesting because you can see that the variegation is beautiful when it's high variegation. This is for $28.98. The only thing about Philodendron Paraiso Verde is for it to get that variegation, it's not necessarily the lighting conditions that it needs to get that variegation to push out. It's actually the climate. The warmer the weather is, the more high variegation it'll push out. And that's something I learned. That's something I've actually experienced, because if you put it in an area that's a little bit colder, it's not going to push that variegation out. And this one for $13.99 is a Begonia Maculata. Beautiful spotted begonia. You know, my grandmother, she can grow begonias and propagate them and just multiply them easily. For me, I'll be lucky to be able to keep a begonia alive, but that is available to purchase at Ruibals. And you can see here, Philodendron Snowdrift for $49.99 in a 6-inch planter. Beautiful philodendron. Now the variegation is influenced by the amount of light you provided, so you want to make sure you're providing that philodendron quite a bit of light. And I'll just pan around here. You can see more Philodendron Snowdrift. They would say that the Philodendron Snowdrift is the more cost-effective philodendron. Snowdrift is more cost effective than the Philodendron Asmanii. I think that's what you call it. I could definitely see the price range between those two philodendron. Needless to say, it is a beautiful plant. It is a plant that can get very large, and you can see that it does have some nice variegation. If you want it to be lighter though, you want to make sure you're providing it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. Bright indirect light is literally the key to success when it comes to a lot of the plants that we're growing indoors. Plant foliage, you can see right here, Philodendron Painted Lady, $27.99. So this is the Philodendron Collector series that Ruibals actually offers their customers. You can see that this is a nice, beautiful philodendron. I will say Philodendron Painted Lady, though, is a pretty fast reverter. If you don't give it enough light, it will revert more so to green. So that's, the only disappointing part about growing a Philodendron Painted Lady. It is a little bit of challenging to keep it up. And then Philodendron Squamiferum, $27.99. I have a large one that I'm super proud of, and it's been doing very well. Actually, the Philodendron Squamiferum has been very easy for me to take care of. It's very low maintenance. As far as like watering, I just let the soil dry out completely and give it a good soak. It does want to climb up a pole, so I do have a little bit of a pole to hold it up, and it's starting to get some really large leaves. And then Manjula Pothos, $27.99. So Manjula Pothos, it's a very slow growing pothos, but oh my gosh, it is such a beautiful pothos plant. And it's one that has really large round leaves. That's one of those pothos that you can get some mutations out of. I happen to luck out and buy a hanging basket of Manjula Pothos, a 6-inch hanging basket from Costa Farms. And, as far as Costa Farms, again, they are able to provide us with a lot of plants for a cost-effective price. And, as far as Manjula Pothos, that is another plant that I feel like it is uncommon, but then you can find it at a big box store. The next time I see it at like Lowe's or Home Depot available, I'm definitely going to buy several of those, just because you can never have enough Manjula Pothos. And then you can see right here, Epipremnum pinnatum albo. This one is for $27.99. And this is another plant that you really want to put on a moss pole or a totem pole for it to really thrive and do well, because it will actually get larger leaves. That is the natural way for it to grow in the wild. And, for my home country, which is the Philippines, those Epipremnum pinnatums in general are very much so endemic and pretty much considered weeds. And as I look at these plants, as I learn and do research and just get to know plants in general and the sources that they come from, it's quite interesting how some plants are very much common to, a native environment versus plants that we bring over here, where we're working so hard to take care of them. Whereas if you just left them in the wild, they just grow naturally. So I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. This philodendron right here, gorgeous plant. It is a velvety texture leaf, so that means it is going to need a little bit more humidity. Philodendron Pink Princess, $27.99. Now, Philodendron Pink Princess, you know, years back was super expensive. Now you have to be really selective. Most people that want the Philodendron Pink Princess are going to go for the Philodendron Pink Princess Marble Galaxy, where it has more speckling, higher variegation. This one doesn't really have a lot of variegation. I do like the maroon colored leaves though, so it's actually still an interesting plant. So Philodendron Pink Princess, you can find them at big box stores, or you can go to Ruibals and get this one for $27.99. They do prefer to climb up a moss pole or some type of totem pole. They get larger leaves, and they're actually a pretty fast grower. As far as the Terrarium Shangri-La, $27.99. Some people don't find this plant beautiful. I do. I want to get one. It is a Teruno series Japanese pothos that is now readily available at even big box stores. So, you know, that's one plant that I want to get a hold of at some point. I'm thinking of buying it at Peta's Planters, which is one of my other favorite plant shops to shop at in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But you can see we do have Hoyas even over here. This is a Hoya macrophylla. Hoya macrophylla is a beautiful Hoya. I mean, Hoyas in general are easy to take care of. This is in a 4-inch planter for $14.99. And, you know, as far as Hoya varieties, there are hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them. And what I do like about Hoyas though is that they are very forgiving. They're very easy to take care of because you don't always have to water them. And if you let them dry out, they will still come back even if you let them dry out. Like I remember not watering a Hoya for more than a month and it still did very well for me. So really excited that I've been able to get away with that. And so I have Hoyas in my plant collection. Sansevierias, this one is for $14.99. I do have a Sansevieria whalefin that I've had for years and it's very low maintenance. I rarely water it. I maybe water it once a month, if that, or even less, and it's done very well for me. Super excited to be doing a collaboration video too with Succulent Asia. They reached out to me via Instagram, so they'll be sending me some rare and uncommon variegated Sansevieria, so definitely take a look at that. I'll have that video up for you guys. But as you can see here, Sansevieria hedgehog, and I will be ending this video quite soon. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing part 2 of this video. Please hit the like button for this video if you haven't already, and I do appreciate you taking the time during the holidays to engage with me and watch my videos. As always, this is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe to my channel with the notification bell on. I'll have a brand new video tomorrow. Bye.